Hello, I am back. Again. I don't have a community tab because my channel is too small, so I couldn't really tell you guys that, more or less, this happened. So I bought all this, which took me 2 months and help from my family to afford, which actually just means that it was my Christmas birthday present. And then I put it all together. While this was enough to actually use the computer, I was missing half the RAM I needed, and so recording and rendering videos was still dicey, and I decided not to do it. Cause I figured at any time now, I will have the other half of the RAM I needed, and everything will be fine. Needless to say, that was not the case, as when I did finally get my RAM, 4 months after everything blew up, it didn't work. And this was happening. I made the magical assumption that my RAM must be bad, so I sent it back to Newegg, got a new set back a few weeks later, and I was very depressed about this, and I just gave up for a couple weeks because I couldn't take it anymore. Of course, by a couple weeks I actually mean quite a while. But with the help of my best friend, I realized that it was one of three things. Either I really did have a second set of bad RAM, or the slots on my motherboard were bad, which would be worst case scenario, or it was just a configuration issue. Guess which one it was? So yes, I sent back a full set of RAM under the assumption it was bad, when in fact, I had simply not configured it correctly. It's frickin' amateur hour in here. Let's have a party. And so the other day, I finally mustered the willpower to open up my case, slot in my RAM, and configured it properly in the BIOS. It took 5 minutes. It works perfectly. I feel like a very happy idiot right now. Just saying. So here we are. You know, I'm afraid to say I'm back or to try and put any kind of schedule to myself here because every single time I have done that before, something ridiculous has happened without fail. I want to because working on the channel is a lot of fun. Even though I don't really expect it will ever take off, though who knows, maybe it will, I just enjoy doing it, I always have. One thing that I have only done a handful of times, but have deeply enjoyed, is doing video reviews of games. The first one was just a weird pervy game that I felt compelled to talk about. After that, I knew I wanted to do more, but wasn't sure what to tackle. My friend suggested doing the Humble Monthly Bundle since I bought that every month anyways. That was an alright experience, but the time constraints mostly left me stressed out. And now we're stuck with the completely terrible Humble Choice that replaced it. It's so bad. So I don't know what I will review next. I don't even know if people like my reviews. I did enjoy doing them though. So I will probably just do what I did with Greedfall and review stuff I'm actually playing and feel the need to actually discuss. I may at one point discuss the fact that I play an enormous amount of Dungeons & Dragons. I actually DM more than I play. I generally enjoy it more, but I've kind of overloaded myself lately. Again, maybe I will talk about it. I don't know. One thing I am very sure I will talk about is Star Trek Online, a game I have far too much time invested in. And what would I say, you ask? Well, things like why Star Trek Online sucks and you should stay far away, and why Star Trek Online is a betrayal of Roddenberry's vision, even if he was a hypocrite. You know, normal things like that. We'll just say I have bones to pick and leave it at that. Will I do it though? I don't know. I want to. I have a drive to. I feel motivated, but I have a lot of things going on in my life right now. I mean, everybody has a lot of things going on in their lives right now. But I have a lot of things on my plate, and it's just a matter of finding time. I would actually like to write more books. Yes, I have books. 4 books, in fact. I had a 5th, but we won't talk about that beyond saying that I think I had some excellent ideas, but that I so completely failed to deliver the message that I intended to, it ended up seeming to kind of just send the opposite message instead. Anyways, that's about it. Though, joking aside, what actually happened with my computer was that the CPU died. And that's all, but also just the beginning. The problem was that it was on old architecture, so to replace it with a newer CPU, I had to get a new motherboard, and that meant I needed new RAM. I had been avoiding it for years, but the CPU had finally had enough around the time I was doing the Greedfall review. That review looked like crap, and I was running it on lower graphical settings because if I did any more than that, the computer would overheat, and that was with a really huge fan pointing directly onto the CPU. It sucked, but I'm glad it's over. I intend to replace my GPU very soon, as aside from the hard drives, it is the oldest component standing. So take care, everybody, and see you soon.